What does it mean to break free from societal expectations? For most people, life feels like a script. Go to school, get a job, follow the rules, fit in. But some women, they refuse to play along. They carve their own path, move in silence, and build a life on their own terms. These women are Sigma females, and society doesn't know what to do with them. If you've ever felt like you don't quite belong, like the expectations placed on you don't match who you are, you're not alone. This video is for you. Sigma. Females aren't defined by the usual labels. They're not trying to be the center of attention, but they also refuse to fade into the background. Unlike alpha or beta personalities, they operate outside the traditional hierarchy. They don't follow trends, they make their own rules. So what does this look like in everyday life? While others need constant validation, Sigma females are at peace in their own world. They grow, evolve, and push themselves. No audience required. They don't waste energy on fake friendships or shallow conversations. If someone doesn't add value to their life, they walk away, guilt-free. They're constantly learning, exploring new ideas, and expanding their minds. They don't chase approval, they chase growth. But here's the problem. Society wasn't built for women like this. From the moment a girl is born, she is placed into a world filled with expectations, some spoken, others unspoken, but deeply ingrained in society. She is taught to be polite, to be agreeable, to prioritize the feelings of others above her own. She is encouraged to be nurturing, to avoid conflict, to say yes even when she wants to say no. As she grows up, these expectations don't fade, they only become louder. She is told to be ladylike, to not be too loud or too opinionated. She's reminded that her value is often measured by how well she fits into the traditional roles society has laid out for her. Smile more, they say, as if her worth is tied to how pleasant she looks to the world. Don't be so intimidating, they warn, as if strength and intelligence in a woman are threats rather than assets. Why aren't you married yet? They ask, as if a woman's ultimate purpose in life is to find a partner rather than forge her own path. But Sigma females hear these demands and reject them. They do not exist to make others comfortable. They do not feel the need to shrink themselves to fit inside a mold that was never meant for them. Instead, they choose to live life on their own terms, embracing their independence, their ambition, and their self-sufficiency. They refuse to compromise their values or dim their light just to be more palatable to those who are uncomfortable with their strength. However, this choice to step outside of societal expectations comes at a cost. Before we jump into the next part, let's take a quick second, because here's the truth. 98% of you watching right now haven't subscribed or liked this video. I see you. You're watching, you're vibing with the message, but you haven't hit that button yet. If this content speaks to you, if you've ever felt like society just doesn't get you, then show some love. Hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss out on more empowering content. It helps this message reach more Sigma females who need to hear it. All right, now let's get back to it. Society does not easily accept women who refuse to conform. A woman who prioritizes her own goals over the traditional expectations of marriage and family is often seen as selfish. A woman who asserts herself in the workplace is labeled difficult or bossy. A woman who enjoys her own company and prefers solitude over socializing is called cold or antisocial. The world struggles to categorize Sigma females because they do not fit neatly into any predefined role. They are not seeking approval, nor are they waiting for validation. And for this, they are often misunderstood, judged, and even ostracized. Despite this, Sigma females continue to stand tall, proving every day that a meaningful life is not defined by the expectations of others, but by the fulfillment that comes from embracing one's true self. They have shown that happiness is not found in people-pleasing or societal validation, but in living authentically and unapologetically. While the world may try to silence them or make them feel as if they are too much or not enough, Sigma females refuse to be swayed. They know their worth, and they continue to carve out their own unique paths, inspiring others to do the same. Sigma females possess a quiet, undeniable strength that sets them apart from the rest. Their power isn't loud or attention-seeking. It's steady, unshakable, and deeply rooted in their ability to stand alone without feeling lonely. Unlike many who rely on external validation, Sigma females find fulfillment within themselves. They are not driven by the need for approval or acceptance from society, friends, or even family. They have mastered the art of solitude, not as a form of isolation, but as a space for self-discovery, growth, and inner peace. This ability to be alone and still feel whole is what makes them so powerful. While others may feel lost without a crowd, Sigma females thrive in their independence. They embrace their uniqueness fully, without apology, without hesitation. They do not water themselves down to fit in or make others comfortable. Instead, they stand out, boldly, confidently, and with a quiet defiance that speaks volumes. They know that authenticity is their greatest strength, and they refuse to compromise their values, ambitions, or identities just to fit into a world that often demands conformity. Sigma females do not just accept the status quo, they challenge it. They break down barriers, rejecting outdated expectations of what a woman should be. Society has long tried to define women through rigid roles, caregivers, nurturers, supporters, but Sigma females refuse to be boxed in. They are leaders, visionaries, creators, and forces of change. They forge their own paths, carving out careers, lifestyles, and mindsets that defy traditional norms. They are not interested in playing by the rules if those rules limit their potential. Instead, they rewrite the script of what it means to be a strong, independent woman. They show that strength is not about dominance, but about self-mastery. That independence does not mean loneliness, but freedom. That confidence is not about arrogance, but about knowing one's worth without needing external validation. Their influence goes beyond their own lives. They inspire others in ways they may not even realize. Even in their silence, their actions speak louder than words. They lead by example, proving that true confidence comes from within, not from the approval of others. They show other women that it is possible to stand firm in who they are without bending to society's pressures. By living authentically and unapologetically, they encourage others to do the same. Whether they realize it or not, their quiet strength gives permission to other women to embrace their own power, to step out of the shadows of expectation, and to take control of their own lives. And here's the best part. The world is starting to take notice. More and more women are recognizing the power of self-reliance, the beauty of independence, and the fulfillment that comes from living authentically. The Sigma female mindset is no longer seen as an outlier. It is becoming a movement. As more women reject the need for validation and choose to prioritize themselves, the traditional structures that once defined femininity are beginning to shift. The influence of Sigma females is growing, shaping a future where women are free to define success, happiness, and purpose on their own terms. What was once misunderstood is now being respected, and what was once seen as rebellion is now being recognized as empowerment. The rise of Sigma females is proof that strength does not have to be loud to be powerful. It only needs to be unwavering. Sigma females are leading a quiet revolution, one that is reshaping the way women view independence, strength, and success. For too long, society has attached unfair assumptions to women who choose to walk their own path. If a woman is independent, she must be lonely. If she is self-sufficient, she must be arrogant. If she values her freedom, she must be difficult or unwilling to compromise. But Sigma females are proving these stereotypes wrong every single day. They are showing the world that independence does not mean isolation. It means self-assurance. That self-sufficiency does not equal arrogance. It is simply the confidence to trust oneself and make decisions without relying on external validation. They are redefining what it means to be a strong woman, proving that success and individuality are not mutually exclusive but can exist together in perfect harmony. The outdated belief that a woman's worth is tied to her relationships, her social status, or her ability to nurture others is beginning to fade, thanks to the quiet yet powerful presence of Sigma females who refuse to conform. Beyond breaking stereotypes, Sigma females are actively shaping the future. The next generation of women is watching closely, learning that they do not have to settle for lives that do not align with their souls. Young girls are realizing that they do not have to follow the same traditional paths that were expected of their mothers and grandmothers. They no longer feel pressured to mold themselves into what society deems acceptable. Instead, they are embracing the idea that their value is not tied to whether they are married, whether they have children, or whether they fit into traditional gender roles. They are learning from Sigma females that success is personal, that happiness is self-defined, and that they have the power to carve out their own unique journeys. The influence of Sigma females is spreading, inspiring women to chase their ambitions fearlessly, to prioritize their mental and emotional well-being, and to trust in their own capabilities. This shift is not just changing individual lives, it is creating a ripple effect that will impact generations to come. But beyond just setting an example, Sigma females are a true force for change. By existing on their own terms, they are helping to build a world where women no longer have to choose between success and authenticity. In the past, women were often forced to make difficult choices, pursue a career or have a family, be strong or be likable, chase their dreams, or fulfill societal expectations. Sigma females are proving that these false choices no longer have to exist. They are showing that a woman can be powerful and kind, ambitious and fulfilled, independent and deeply connected to the world around her. They are paving the way for a society where women are free to be who they truly are, without judgment, without limitations, and without having to constantly justify their choices. Their impact is undeniable. As more women embrace this mindset, the world will continue to evolve into a place where individuality is celebrated, where women support and uplift each other rather than compete, and where success is measured not by societal standards, but by personal fulfillment. The future of Sigma females is bright, not just for those who identify as one, but for all women who crave the freedom to live life on their own terms. The shift has already begun, and there is no turning back. The era of women being forced into predefined roles is fading, and in its place, a new world is emerging, one where authenticity reigns, where independence is respected, and where every woman has the right to define her own destiny. Sigma females are at the forefront of this transformation, proving that quiet strength is just as powerful as loud rebellion, that true confidence does not need validation, and that the most revolutionary act a woman can commit is simply being herself. For Sigma females, life isn't about blending into the crowd or following paths others have laid out. It's about listening to their own inner voice and following their instincts. They understand that true fulfillment doesn't come from seeking approval or conforming to societal expectations, but from aligning their life with their personal values and desires. This mindset sets them apart. While many people might feel uncomfortable stepping away from the group, Sigma females find peace and power in solitude. They don't isolate themselves out of bitterness or rejection of others. Instead, they recognize the priceless value of their own company. In solitude, they are free to truly hear themselves think, to reflect without distraction, and to connect with their deeper purpose. These moments of quiet are not lonely. They are rich with clarity, creativity, and strength. It's in this stillness that Sigma females recharge. They don't need constant validation from others or the busy noise of the world to feel whole. Instead, they thrive in environments where they can focus on growth, whether it's reading a thought-provoking book, journaling their ideas, or simply sitting in silence and dreaming about the future. Solitude becomes their sacred space, a sanctuary where they can return to themselves and rediscover their priorities. In a world that often glorifies busyness and socializing, Sigma females are bold enough to reclaim their time and energy, using it to build the life they truly want. When it comes to relationships, Sigma females are incredibly intentional. They don't collect friends or acquaintances just for the sake of having a crowd around them. Instead, they seek depth, meaning, and authenticity in every connection they make. They'd rather have a small circle of genuine, supportive people than a large group of shallow relationships that drain their energy. This doesn't mean they're antisocial or unfriendly, quite the opposite. When they do choose to connect with someone, they bring their full presence, empathy, and sincerity. They value quality over quantity, and they cherish relationships built on mutual understanding, respect, and trust. Sigma females have no patience for superficial interactions or social games. They prioritize real conversations and meaningful bonds. And here's the beautiful thing: Sigma females are constantly evolving. They are lifelong learners, deeply curious about the world and their place in it. They understand that growth is not a destination but a journey, one that requires curiosity, effort, and an open mind. Whether they're learning a new language, mastering a skill, exploring a creative passion, or simply deepening their understanding of themselves, Sigma females are always investing in their personal development. They don't wait for others to hand them opportunities. They create their own. They are the kind of people who take classes just because the subject excites them, who dive into new hobbies with enthusiasm, and who see every challenge as a chance to grow stronger. For them, self-discovery is not a one-time event, but a lifelong adventure. They're not afraid to reinvent themselves, to let go of what no longer serves them, and to embrace new possibilities. This dedication to self-improvement isn't about perfection, it's about progress. Sigma females know that each step they take toward becoming the person they want to be is worth celebrating, no matter how small. They measure success not by external achievements, but by their own growth and fulfillment. They are their own greatest investment, pouring time and energy into their dreams, passions, and goals because they know their worth. In a world that often tells women to shrink themselves, to prioritize others over their own needs, and to fit into a narrow definition of success, Sigma females stand out as bold examples of what it means to live authentically. They don't follow the script that society hands them, they write their own. And in doing so, they inspire others to do the same. If you're a Sigma female, this is your reminder. You don't need permission to live life on your terms. You don't need approval to exist exactly as you are. And most importantly, you don't need to explain yourself to anyone who refuses to understand your journey. Society may try to define you, pressure you, and push you into a mold that was never meant to fit you. But that's not your battle to fight. You weren't made to follow the path laid out for you. You were made to carve your own. For too long you may have felt like an outsider, misunderstood, or even invisible. People might have told you that you're too distant, too quiet, too different. They might have questioned why you don't crave the spotlight, why you're not interested in following trends, or why you seem to walk through life with a sense of quiet confidence that doesn't rely on external validation. But the truth is, that's your power. You don't need the noise. You don't need the constant approval of others. You are enough, exactly as you are. Your strength comes from your ability to think independently, to trust yourself, and to build a life that reflects who you truly are. You don't chase the crowd. You choose authenticity over acceptance. And that is rare. That is powerful. That is what sets you apart from the rest. While the world glorifies constant validation, competition, and the never-ending pursuit of external success, you quietly master your own reality, in your own way, at your own pace. You don't feel the need to prove anything to anyone. Your existence, your success, your happiness, and your growth are all driven by you, not by the expectations society tries to place on you. And here's what I want you to understand. You are not alone. There are countless Sigma females across the world who are walking this path with you, women who, just like you, have decided to reject the pressures of conformity and embrace a life of independence, self-reliance, and deep self-awareness. Women who are thriving on their own terms, creating success without seeking permission, and finding true fulfillment in personal growth rather than in external validation. So now I ask you, what's your story? What battles have you fought to stand where you are today? What challenges have you overcome to break free from the expectations placed upon you? Share your journey in the comments below. Your words might be exactly what another Sigma female needs to hear today. Your strength, your mindset, and your experiences are valuable, and they deserve to be heard. And if you're ready to take things even further, to step into your full potential and fully embrace the power of who you are, watch this next video on self-empowerment. It's time to stop holding back. It's time to embrace your freedom, your individuality, and your unstoppable strength. The world may not always understand you, but that doesn't matter. What matters is that you understand yourself, and that is more powerful than anything else.